Well, another hot button issue that a lot of people have sent in a question about, and I've only seen a few things about this, so I don't know.
Where is this hot button?
It's
and who gets to push it?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah,
that's a hot button question.
I bet you Kenny Olivier can't find the hot button.
We'll see. He's pointing at it all the time.
He's pointing everywhere. Sooner or later, he's going to fucking point at it.
Well, a question.
He pointed at Taiwan, fucking Indonesia, and outer Mongolia last week.
A question that a lot of people have wanted to know your thoughts on is apparently and allegedly Tessa Blanchard refuses to return the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship unless she is given $150,000. And from what I've read, the Impact champion now is, I think, Moose, or he's the TNA champion. I'm not even sure, but they're now using a counterfeit belt from Pakistan. There's a lot of people on eBay that sell counterfeit belts from Pakistan and various other places.
No, let me tell you something. And my good friend and lifelong chum, Rick Michaels, down there in Atlanta, Georgia, got me a set of the NWA World Tag Team Championship belts that Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey wore from Pakistan. And these things they're the same weight, the same thickness. They're gorgeous. And for like a fucking a minute price. So do not laugh at the Pakistan belts.
Before we get to this question now, since you raised this issue, I've seen these things for sale, and I'm always thinking it's coming from a foreign country. They're using maybe cheaper materials. Who knows what it is?
Well, I don't know what just every Tom's dick is hairy off the street gets, but with the guy with the N and me being a former manager of the champions, I got a good looking set of belts.
That's interesting to know. But what are your thoughts about Tessa Blanchard?
My thoughts about Tessa Blanchard asking $150,000. I got it for $650 a piece. So I don't know what the fuck she's selling. The only way to sell the belt itself, if you would come back and do the job, if it was a big time major league wrestling promotion that was drawing tens of thousands of fans per night and millions of people on television watching, and the champion refused to come back and do the job and drop the belt unless they got $150,000, then that actually happened with Jeff Jarrett, only he got $200,000. And I can see that happening. But when the champion is not going to return to drop the belt and lose in the middle of the ring, the champion is just going to FedEx the fucking belt back. And it's Impact Wrestling, which I wouldn't exactly, not even any insult to say that this is not a goddamn a promotion that millions and millions of people are watching or tens of thousands of people are buying tickets to. And the belt itself, the physical belt, cost them, I'm sure, less than $2,500 wherever they got it from, Pakistan or fucking Millington, Tennessee. So what the fuck does she want $150,000 for? And why don't they have another one ready? In the old days, when you had to wait for Reggie Parks or Nikita Molkovich to make a fucking belt, and it could take 6 months or a year, and the promoters were cheap anyway, if somebody made off with one of the belts, they just fucking slapped a fucking decal on something they had in the drawer and went on. But now, as easy as it is to get belts from a variety of places, and they ain't that much money, and she's not talking about coming back to drop it and lose in the ring, and who would give a shit if she did, because the fact that, and I'm a huge fan of Tessa Blanchard. Every time I've seen her work, I rank her with the Charlottes and the Rhea Ripleys and the fucking Ronda Rouseys and the Becky Lynches that I'm enjoying. But they already shit the bed on their company. A woman beat, and didn't she beat, I just read this on Twitter she beat Brian Cage. The same Brian Cage that's on AEW, being managed by Taz, the human muscle, the fucking giant jacked up Brian Cage was defeated by Tessa Blanchard and she won the men's title. So what the fuck does it mean anyway? And maybe no wonder Brian Cage is not fucking going to get over if the target audience for him has seen him lose to a 140-pound woman.
Well, let's be fair. No one's watching Impact, so I don't know how many people saw that.
Okay.
Although we can now say that AEW doesn't book him the worst that he could be possibly booked.
So anyway, what I again reiterate, there's nothing worth $150,000 here. There's nothing worth more than $2,500 here, which is that fucking belt. And truthfully, depending on how their contracts are written and whether they give a fuck, they could actually fucking call the goddamn local authorities and why she's in Mexico. So no, they can't. I was going to say call the authorities and alert them to where that their stolen property is. They could go pick it up. But in Mexico, yeah, good luck with that. So I'd just buy a new belt and I'd save $147,500.
Once again, though, to an issue we've discussed in the past with Tessa, does this go to her reliability? Would you think twice before you book her?
Now that I've heard that, I don't know what I can understand everything that she's done so far. Not coming back to Impact Wrestling during a pandemic, okay. Especially because she's living in Mexico with her boyfriend and couldn't get back into Mexico, okay. There was hearsay and talk and suspicion over what she had said or who she had said it to, and I wasn't there, and I can understand saying shit to people that you're mad at and cussing out. But
it was to be fair, it was beyond just saying shit to people you're mad at. It was bullying, it was racism, it was a bunch of different things.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't there, so I can understand, and I said this before, I can understand if she said something unsavory to somebody she was mad at, cussing out in an argument with or whatever. I don't understand. I've never seen or that type of behavior from her when I've been around her. If she said something else or did something else or was bullying, and bullying's become a thing in the locker room now, where people are bullying people in the locker room. Men are bullying men. Women are bullying women. Men and women are bullying each other. Fucking hell, in the wrestling locker room. But anyway, the point is, I can't fucking get behind this one. This may be the tipping point where I say, okay, Tessa may have something going on. If that's an honest offer that came out of, or even a dishonest one, if that came out of her mouth and anybody was supposed to take that seriously, she's got issues. That's what I'm saying.
Well, a lot of people think Impact should hire an attorney and maybe go after Tessa.
Well, I was about to say that there's one human being in the world that could get that belt back, but in Mexico, I'm not even sure about him. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if some Outlaw Mud Show wrestler has stolen your championship belt and will not return it for the sum of $150,000 or anything less, I know exactly who you need to call to get your championship belt back.
Call Stephen P. News. If you need to sue. An Outlaw Mud Show or two. He'll sue the rest.